It's so quick. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going over a G63 G Wagon. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to the Jaguar Land Rover here in Lehigh, Utah, for giving me some time with this G Wagon. Check out the inventory in the description down below. They obviously sell the new Jaguars and Land Rovers, and then they have a ton of cool used inventory to pick from as well. On a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into the video. So under the hood, we have a twin-turbo 4-liter V8 that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. It's good for 577 horsepower and then 627 pound-feet of torque. Notice how we have the AMG logo there, and then you've got the signature of the person that hand-built it, which is pretty cool. And yeah, the display overall is awesome. Now let's go over the front end of the G63. So first off, you guys can see here with the Mercedes logo there at the center. And then notice here with the turn signals off to the side, definitely a cool aesthetic. And then we've got these full LED lights. We've got the AMG logo there, and then notice the giant Mercedes logo. There is a camera there at the top logo. And then you've got the signature G63 grille. We've got this giant brush guard down below with parking sensors integrated here into the bottom portion. And yeah, overall, it looks really cool. And this color is very unique. It's like kind of like a turquoise almost. I'm not very good with colors, okay, people? But you can see there in the light. Now, coming around the side here, we've got two 95mm tires wrapped around 22-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear. This obviously has more of like a luxury car appearance with the wheels. It doesn't have like that blacked out G-Wagon appearance you'll see on certain G-Wagons. Still have a massive red brake caliper there with the AMG logo and massive rotors. That's part of the G63 packages. You do get larger rotors. You also get adjustable shocks here. And then notice with the fender flare how that's body painted. We have our AMG logo V8 bi-turbo badge as well. And then notice the silver here on the side steps. Got the exhaust tips that poke out the side as well. Mirrors are body painted, and then obviously the G63, right, has that normal boxy G-Wagon design, which is pretty cool. And yeah, all the chrome elements pop out quite a bit. Now here is the key fob from the G63. You guys can see the lock function and then the unlock function. You got the AMG logo there at the bottom, and then you can see another AMG logo there at the back. But unlocking it and popping in, you guys can see opening here. Notice with the quilted design here on the back. And then we've got our cargo cover back here as well. And then notice here with the floor mats, you got the Mercedes logo there at the center portion. And then notice with the plug on top of that. And you can see there, pretty high up for storage space, which is great with the G63. And the biggest thing is listen to the closing sound. It's just so cool. Now finishing things up with the rest of the rear, we have the gigantic spare tire carrier. We have our G63 badge here. Parking sensors on the rear. We actually have a recovery hook, and we've got a tow package as well. And again, there you go. Now here is the door panel in the rear with the G63. Now this has the upgraded interior that you can get with the G63. So you have beautiful leather here, and also the quilted design, and then the wood trim down below. Burmester sound system, which sounds fantastic. You got the heated seats right there, and then notice the window control again, nice from a material standpoint. AMG logo, and you can see here with the rear seats. Notice perforated here down the center, and there's no grab handle or anything, so you just have to kind of like step up and across. There's legroom. There's headroom as well, and then you guys can see a little storage pocket. Notice we've got some climate control vents here. We've got the climate controls down below, and then you have this little like storage space thing. Well, it's actually an ashtray. But anyways, pulling this down, you can see you got a couple cup holders right there. And let's head to the front. Now here is the front door panel. You can see with the leather trim at the top, and then notice the quilted design there in the center portion. And then the metallic and wood trim down below that. All the window controls look fantastic. The mirrors, they do have blind spot monitoring. And then you've got the power fold function, heated, cooled seats here for the front. We also have the memory seat function, all the seat adjustments. Got another speaker for the Burmester sound system. AMG logo. And then look at the front seats, got these like pillowy headrests. Again, another AMG logo. And then notice the perforated leather there for the center portion. Pedal layout down below. We've got our light control here with the lane departure and the parking sensors. And then notice the leather trim all over. This is not leather, that's just plastic. But anyways, steering wheel's power adjustable. Let's pop in. So here's the steering wheel for the G63. So you guys can see here with the trim at the top, how it's smooth, perforated here on the sides, so you can get a better grip, and then smooth again at the bottom. AMG logo. Got the AMG paddle shifters as well. This is for the gauge cluster control, and then you can see with the cruise control, infotainment system control. We've got our column shifter, turn signal, windshield wiper stock, and there's a steering wheel. Now I've got this full digital gauge cluster. So first off, you got that black box, which lets you scroll through different menus here within the gauge cluster itself, which is pretty cool. If we press the home screen button, notice how we can change how the gauge cluster looks. So with the designs, so right now we're in the sport, we can go to classic, and then we can go to like progressive, for example, and it'll change like the whole setup with how it looks, which is pretty cool. And yeah, that's all for that. Now here's the center infotainment system. First off, if we pop it into reverse, we've got the backup camera, which has trajectory lines that do turn with the steering wheel. You've got the bird's eye view as well. And if we go to drive, notice it pops on with the front camera. So that's the cool thing about the G63 is it does have a really solid camera system. Now if we go to the rest of the infotainment system, we can control it with the steering wheel controls. And yes, this does in fact come with massaging seats. So you can take this off-road technically, and then you can get a massage while it's happening. That's the rest of the infotainment system. Again, you can control the steering wheel, or there's a keypad, or there's like a dial. It is not a touchscreen though, so just understand that. So there's different ways to control it, but again, not being a touchscreen, little bit frustrating, but overall it's a solid infotainment system and relatively easy to use. So it's kind of hard to see, but you got leather here all over the dash, and then notice here with the grab handle and the wood trim, and then another speaker there for the Burmester sound system, which looks really cool, and then the wood trim around the infotainment system, and then you can turn off the auto stop start if you want. Vents on either side, and then this is for the differential locks. So notice we've got the rear, front, and then center. You can do the center first, rear second, and then front third. Most people that buy this are never going to use that functionality, but it comes with it. We got our dual zone climate controls, got our clock down below, and then you can see here with the wood trim that covers up the cup holder section. And then notice there's like really nice leather even down here where your knee would go against, which is pretty cool. This is the control for the infotainment system, and then the dial down below. We do have our drive mode select, which you can see we've got slippery on one side, and then on the other side we have individual, comfort, sport, sport plus. Notice there's no off-road mode for the G63 because they really don't expect you to take this particular G Wagon off-road, which is kind of funny. We've got our volume control here, and then you've got this for the exhaust to open or close the valves and the camera system. Low range. This is for the suspension to make it softer or firmer, and then your stability control. And then you can see the center console, the storage space there, and then notice the leather trim at the top, and then glove box setup. And we actually have the original window sticker for this particular one, so we can show that. This is used, so that wouldn't be the current price, but we at least have that to look at it. And then finishing things here at the very top, notice here we've got a traditional sunroof, really nice headliner. Again, kind of like a luxury car item, and it's super tall. Like there's tons of space here, which is great. Here's the original window sticker for this G63, as you guys can see, with the options and then the original warranty. But the interesting thing to see is what, so you can see there, $156,450 base price, and that's before like the emerald green metallic paint and then the other options on this particular one. But notice total price there, $172,500, which the market value on these now is way, way above that. So it's kind of interesting to see the difference. But anyways, let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood, both the mirrors, which do have blind spot monitoring, and then throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. Setting off in the G63 G Wagon. First off, love the door locking sound with the G63. Secondly, I love the seating position in the G63. You sit like higher up. And so you kind of have like this nice, like you feel like you're like the king of the road kind of. And the seats are really comfortable too. And so that's another big plus with the seats themselves. And then something else to mention here is bolstering is, you know, open enough that if you're a bigger person, you'd actually be able to fit in these seats pretty comfortably. Love the exhaust note. Ride quality is really smooth. Now, if you guys don't know, I own a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392. The bolster's tightening around me on the side, just like an S-Class, because I'm going around the corner. But anyways, I own that. And, you know, a lot of people will make comparisons and be like, oh, that's like the, you know, budget G Wagon. Not quite. So like an actual G Wagon, this feels like a full-blown luxury car. Like, suspension's very smooth, very comfortable. And, you know, wind noise compared to the Wrangler is a lot less. You do get a little bit because it is a boxy SUV, but there's a lot less wind noise with this compared to the Wrangler. Exhaust sounds great too. Like, this feels like, sounds weird. This feels like a real car. Like with the Wrangler, it feels like you're driving a toy. I feel like I'm driving just like a normal vehicle, right? Which is, you know, cool with the G Wagon. Now, aside from that, other things with the G Wagon, so much torque out of the 4.0. That's another thing, I guess, is it just moves. Like, you barely have to get into the pedal and it just gets up and moves. This has plenty of power, and we'll get an acceleration here in a moment, but that is another thing. And we'll actually pop it into the Sport Plus mode, so it gets all aggressive. I'll also leave an automatic for the acceleration, so it does everything for us. So we're gonna get our acceleration here, and I'm also in the firmer suspension setting. It's so quick, and it sounds so monstrous. Oh yeah, the firmer suspension's definitely firmer. Who would have thought? But I just put it into the softer setting, so we're still in the Sport Plus, but then soft suspension. I think that's the way to drive it, so that you can get the nice sounds, the crazy acceleration, but, you know, you can still have a nice, smooth, luxury ride quality. Do a couple manual shifts here. Ooh, sounds aggressive. Smooth even into first gear. Just like the new Gen 3 Raptor. Oh, it sounds so cool. Such a cool sound. So if you hold down the plus pedal to put it back into the automatic mode, which is cool. Handling's good on this too, actually. It is a, you know, large, boxy, you know, top-heavy SUV, but it actually handles pretty well. Even in the soft suspension setting. I feel like you can just tuck it around corners, actually. So let's sum things up here with the G63. So first off, I think it looks amazing on the outside. I want you guys to let me know what you think about this color combo. It's definitely unique, that's for sure. Interior is full-on luxury car. Driving experience, full-on luxury car as well. And so, like, this basically is, you know, it's just this crazy militarized luxury vehicle is the best way to look at it. Like, they still use G-Wagons for military use, if you guys don't know. But then, yeah, it's got all these nice luxury features. Massaging seats, it's quick, it's fun. Obviously, this is a huge status symbol in today's world. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's a cool, unique vehicle. Now let's get some things up for our video on this G63 G-Wagon. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Land Rover Jaguar here in Lehigh, Utah for giving me some time with this G63. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I will see all of you in that next video.